Hello everybody, welcome back to the Lightning Gaming channel. So basically we completed the first chapter challenge on the hardest mode, Path of the Mentor, on this particular game. This is the loadout that I used. I was getting wasted with other loadouts, to be honest, so I tried out the Blade of the Archfiend with the Art of the Inferno. So that's the one where you erupt in fire and blow that all over them, with the double swords, which is basically the true dragon sword plus the new Archfiend sword. You basically have one of each and cut them down. So you unlock that by actually completing the last chapter 17, defeating the final boss. I think you get it on either easy or normal mode, so it's probably best to farm your way up. Once you get it, these guys become a little bit more manageable. As you see, it's actually cutting them down pretty nicely. So I worked out a couple things about this particular sword on hard mode. You really want to be using your heavy attacks on them a lot. That is the main strategy of it, really. Basically, what I like about the swords compared to the other weapons, and why, if I had to choose only one sword out of all the swords, it might be this one. Basically, there's a lot of weapons in the game, but this particular sword would be the one I'd go with the simple reason that it actually decapitates, takes heads, arms and legs. So basically it has a way of disabling enemies. So as you've seen, I've used my Nimpo fire spell on them out there, and my strategy in this particular area was to lure them in, hold triangle down to charge up my attack, because obviously that's charging up my heavy attack, and then hitting them as they come in individually with a fully charged up attack. If I can hold out for long enough to get the second charge in, I do. If not, I just go with the first charge, which absolutely massacres. As you can see, I basically turn this into the most goriest looking, bloodiest room you've ever seen in your whole life with this particular loadout. So these heads and arms and legs laying all across the floor there with blood. Then out here in the courtyard is where they actually spawn. So I come out here and sort of lure them into the room, but if I'm feeling brave, I might go out there and get them. Okay, but you know, it is good to isolate them if you are struggling through this bit. These guys with the claws that come out in the second bit give me the most difficulty, so I always try to charge up a couple of Nimpo spells for those, because as you can see, there's a couple of those that spawn, which can be a little bit annoying. So basically at the moment we're actually annihilating them with the double swords that I was telling you about. So they become the twin swords later on, so they are actually my favorite actual weapon in the game now, because you take the true dragon sword and then you give it the Archfiend's sword as well to go with it, and it just turns it into this epic battle bloodbath out there. I tell you, it's absolute insanity. So with the heavy attack button, okay, I'm just basically went the wrong way here and got a little bit cut up for it, to be honest. So as you can see, the true dragon sword's the purple one and the Archfiend sword is the red one in my hand now. In combination, they seem to do almost as much as the double-handed true dragon sword itself, which I really liked through all of these series of this particular Ninja Gaiden title as well. So basically this probably would be my ultimate loadout if I was to challenge hard difficulty, and I'll probably be using it on the coming chapters. So please do subscribe and let us know in the comments. It is free to subscribe. If you want to see more content on Ninja Gaiden 2 Black and other games that are similar, please do let us know as we continue through this absolute bloodbath corridor. So my apologies to the viewers that it is a little bit gory. Okay, it is very gory, this particular mission. It is a true ninja game, this one, and over on the Lightning Gaming channel, the boys AK Ninja and Destroy Ninja have been absolutely loving it. So I've basically jumped down the hole after completing that area on hard there, and there's a heap of bats, so basically just quickly slaying those down with the sword and just having a look at some notebooks and picking up a couple reading resources along the way. But I already do have all of the skills in this because I've already beaten the campaign. So there's a treasure box down there on the right. I do go back for that later, but there's a wall run and that I'll show you how to do just quickly through this area so that I can progress in the storyline. So basically just hacking through heads, as you see, with the double sword there. Okay, so this is the wall run. You just jump up and then he runs across the wall, and then you jump off, and then you come up here, and then you go over here to this particular chest, kick it open. Obviously you don't want to leave that behind, that's good health sitting there. So it is a little bit random, I think, between the orange orbs and the health, but it's always good to get health on hard mode. So you jump off this little bit right here, so that brings you to this particular section of this catwalk, where you learn about the Furious Wind technique, which is to evade while blocking and this sort of thing. So that's pretty handy sort of knowledge to have, but at the same time, we already know all about that because we're on hardest mode now with the best swords in the game, gunning them down. So one in each hand is the go, I reckon. Look at that, for an absolute flurry of attacks on these ninjas. So I sort of personally prefer to either charge the attacks on the heavy or just pure heavy attacks on them. As you can see, these limbs going flying, these actual body parts all over the place. It's absolutely unbelievable. So loving the amount of detail they put into this particular title as well, that said, because with other games that I've been playing recently, they've sort of been lacking the amount of blood and gore that sort of seems necessary. Like some of the bodies just disappear, whereas in this game they leave them laying there like dismembered and all that sort of thing. So that's why else that the swords are really the cutting edge. They do slice and dice the opponents instead of just leaving them sort of hit with a stick or whatever, you know, bruising them to death over there, it feels like sometimes with some of the other weapons. Okay, so there are some honorable mentions that could beat hard as well. I'm not saying that like none of the other weapons can beat hard. I'm just saying that I personally prefer these two particular swords, as you only get them for completing the campaign. They are a new thing in the game where, you know, you've never been able to really grab one in each hand and go after them after the campaign. So I thought that we lost the swords as well. So they are sick, and they do sort of like extremely fast punishing damage on them, guys. So here we go with the next bit here. Okay, so we're actually, looks like we're coming up to some sort of massive building complex. It could be their headquarters of the enemy ninjas at the moment. There's certainly a lot of them, and as you can see, it's quite the architecture they've got built up there too. So they've got some sort of like settlement built on top of the roof. It's insane. So we're actually eyeing that off from the top of our little golden archway up here on this building. And we can sort of see what they're doing down there. They actually have our friend hostage and they're beating her up down there. So we're not too happy about that. I just seen them slap her face. So obviously Ryu wouldn't be happy. He's going to sprint down the rooftop, do a massive glide in and smash the glass window and actually attack the Ninja Claw gang. So, okay, basically using the swords again through this particular part of Chapter 1's first mission. Okay, so fighting the whole way to the boss here, it's an absolute epic bloodbath. Okay, so as you see, the swords are still working in unison to beat up these. Now they've brought out 3 of the clawed ninjas at me instead of just 2, and the claw ninjas are very difficult. They're very fast. Okay, it's another weapon I don't mind in the game. If I was to do an honorable mention, it might even be that the claws can do extremely quick damage to one target, although they do lack range, which is why I personally prefer the swords again over those, just because they're still quick and they do massive range, and they've also got the charge up effect, which the Scythe doesn't have. So that's why I'd sort of say that these 2 particular blades will go a long way on hard, guys. So we're going to be getting them out live and taking them out on hard, so please do make sure to subscribe for free and all the rest, and take the time to do it. It does take us quite a bit of time to get the content up for everyone and all that sort of thing. But here we are gliding down into battle at the moment, and we can see that they've actually got some sort of VTOL out that they're trying to take away, I think our friend in or something here, and they've got this boss here, this ninja that's come out, and we're calling him Clawface at the moment, and he's dangerous as he's like the spider boss or something. Let's see, what's his name? He's the Shadow Ninja Rasetsu. Okay, so he's come out and he's got all these red things like eyes all around his head or something. It's unbelievable how quick he attacks. So this is basically what you're dealing with if you go in unprepared. He just wails on you and one-shot you. So that was me dying in the game, but I did actually revive myself. So I tried again, and the next time I actually came out and hit the triangle button a couple times with this particular weapon, and it smashed this boss. So it really did do a lot of damage on him. It did a number. As you can see, it absolutely laser barred the health off him. So this is on the hardest difficulty at the moment, which is why I am recommending the swords yet again. The twin swords at the end game are ultimate, because you combine the 2 best swords into one complete package that dices the whole bosses apart. So there we have it, dicing spider legs apart for the final win. The big guy's gone down, and they're like, you know, stop struggling, they're trying to take my friend, but I've dealt with spider legs so I can get over there now. Or can I? Oh, I've got a bit of a distance. My friend's trying to get off the helicopter. Oh, we've missed our ninja star, but she's sweating them. She's sweating them. Oops, she's not happy. She thinks we're going to take the VTOL down, I think, with them ninja stars. So she's kicked our friend down at us to keep us distracted so that we couldn't throw the ninja stars at the VTOL as we've ran over to save the girl. So that was pretty epic, guys, I thought. Okay, so she's just a tool of the CIA, she reckons, but you know, whatever she thinks, she can't go hurting people like that. You seen the way she was slapping the poor girl, that was unbelievable. So Ryu finally found her, and then the story evolves, guys. So if you have missed the story, please do jump over to our live. We do have the whole story up already that we have completed. This is going back at it on the hardest, most extreme difficulty at the moment with the best weapons that we acquired from the game. Okay, so there's some pretty epic cutscenes in it. Okay, basically I did complete it on the actual difficulty mode of Master Ninja here, so that I was pretty happy with that. I did do a couple retries and have a little bit of a break between, but yeah, it was pretty fun. 134 kills, a new record on karma points, so you can basically farm that. Until next time, guys, please do enjoy the content on the channel.